again, and I have a new project on my mind, and it's a beam and bulb project. And the thing here is that I want to use a transducer to measure the distance between the ball and the transducer, and then use a servo to flip this beam up and down such that you can regulate the position of the ball. It's a fairly common project for school and hobbyists. So, and I also will find many of them on the YouTube, but the idea here is to try and do it myself. And also, this is something I have wanted to do for a long time. Feed control. So, yes, so looking at feed control. Feed control is a control loop feed mechanism. And it's commonly used in industrial control systems. It was initially developed while automating ship steering. So, and you know, if you have steered a boat, you know that when you turn, you don't actually, as with a car, if you turn the steering wheel, the car will turn momentarily. But with in a ship, in a large ship, it will take some time before it starts to rotate. And then when you align the rudder back again to neutral, your steering wheel, then the ship will continue to rotate until it stops and then continue. So you can't just drive like this you do in a car and steer wherever you want. You have to sort of steer before you need to steer, and you have to stop steering before you need to stop steering. And in our case, we have a ball here that when the scale or the beam, when that is changing to try and brake and accelerate the ball, then you have mass, and this takes time to stop, and therefore you have to counteract its speed though. So yeah, you have to learn how to drive servos and how to read distances from ultrasonic transducer, and then also all of this is controlled by the microcontroller, so you'll have a development board. So I just would like to show you a package that I bought a while ago. It was from Hobbykomponenter. It's a Norwegian online store. They are a small business, and I think they were a hobby-based club. I think they wanted components for their hobbies, and you know, there's lead time and it takes time to buy stuff. So yeah, and this store that has grown a lot lately. They have their own store now, so online store, and an own apartment for their components. So yeah, you can get the basic stuff you need: resistors, diodes, transistors, equipment. They don't have the big equipment yet, but they will probably have that soon because they are growing. So, and for me, this means I can get components in 2-3 days instead of waiting weeks and weeks from China, from wares from China. And I really like that they have these small packages, because if I buy from Alpha, which is the largest one available here in Norway, I get these enormous packages, and they send with this courier, PostNord. So yeah, so I can get components really quick. So the thing is that I bought stuff because I wanted to make a micro CPU core, just for fun, out of transistors. But okay, so this project hasn't got that far. I haven't begun it, so as you can see, I bought a tiny little servo. I hope it's not too small for this project, so this is used in RC stuff. And you have these actuators you can put on here. So yeah, so that's the servo. So you have the servo, and I've already unpacked this. We have the actuator. So this one, these are like a speaker and a microphone. So it sends us chirp noises, and then when those noises hits a object, they will bounce back, and then whenever it reads back that chirp noise, it will then amplify and then make a trigger pulse here. So it's called echo. So you have trigger and echo, and you use your microcontroller to trigger it, and then it sends out a wave and receives it back again, and then you get echo. So you can, if you have a timer in the microcontroller, you can measure the time from start to echo, and then you measure distance because you know the speed in air though. So yeah, so that's the transducer. And for the microcontroller, okay, so I don't have a Arduino, but Arduino would be perfect for this project. So I do have a launch pad from Texas Instruments, and I'll switch this one off. It's a Tiva C-Series. It's a Cortex M4 core based microcontroller. It has a JTAG interface, and that means you can program it and debug it and do simulations with it. So what you're seeing here is that you have the microcontroller, and you can attach to the pins here. For these are spread outs for the microcontroller, and then you have the same microcontroller here. And the thing with that is that this one is only used for programming and JTAG and stuff. So yeah, but I think this will be a bit overkill. I got this from a course I took last year, a microcontroller course on edx.org. Check that out. That was a really good course. So. But what I do have is this dinosaur here. And the thing is that I have the software package and everything, so I don't going to bother ordering Arduino. So let me show you. This is Microelectronica. I think it's Serbian. Let me check. Yes, they are based in Belgrade, Serbia. So yeah, when I ordered this from them, the Visa company called me and asked if I really was ordering this. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't suspect Serbia that much, would I? Anyway. And here's the development board. So basically, I have a little programmer here. It's for this one that I made, the PC controller. So I can hook it up here and like this, and down into these pins, because this one doesn't have a in-circuit programmer. So anyway, I have a large microcontroller here I can use. I also have one that fits in here. The thing is with this development board is that you can interface. Oops. You can interface all the pins here via these buttons, and you can also watch the state of each pin on these LEDs. And also you can write out on these pins here for an LCD screen, so that's useful. But I was thinking maybe maybe I'll do that, or I'll just write the distance over on this display. But when I come to think of it, writing to this display is great, because then I can write the distance and the position and all the parameters for the PID controller. So yeah, so that's that. And other things. You have power inputs. You can select external or USB power. You have an onboard programmer. So we only attach the USB here, and then the software will take care of programming. So just send away your program and it will program it. And it doesn't have. You don't have to disconnect anything. You can have all your circuits connected and just ship a new program. You have a serial connection, so you can send, for example, debugging data back to the computer. USB, I'm not using that. PS2 for a keyboard. And these are like analog. These are basically just pot meters for the AV converter, if you want to play with that. So yeah, is there anything more? It's a graphical LCD display. You can have a touch screen. And out here are all the ports. So yeah. So what I was thinking is, if I use this microcontroller, which is also overkill, but that's okay. We don't have to think about cost now. This is me trying to understand PID controllers. So we want something that works, and I know this board works. So what I was thinking, that I use the port and the echo that comes back from this transducer. I want that echo to stop the counter inside the microcontroller, and that actually is something called capture. So you have a dedicated pin on this microcontroller. It's called capture, and you can capture that echo, so that so it doesn't matter where in your code you are. So you don't have to poll, and that means you don't have to constantly check if there's an echo on the way or on the received. And if you do that, then you will have some, you never know how much latency you have when you are using software to determine when the echo comes, but when you have a capture pin. So the capture pin will stop the timer instantaneously, and doesn't matter where in the code it is. So, and also I think you can hook the capture pin up to the interrupt, but I think we'll make the hardware first. So yeah, it will be fun for this. So this will be part 1 then. Okay, so I'm going to be a bit lazy here and use some cardboard box.